So again, we are going to discuss about some of the advanced non-thermal methods which are generally used for food preservation process. As all of you know, that food preservation is the maintenance of safe and nutritious food for extended period of time. So you are simply giving some type of treatment to your food item just to inactivate or just to destroy the microorganisms present in the system or present in the food item uh, to make it safe for human consumption. And it is mainly concerned with the control and elimination of different agents which are responsible for causing food spoilage. So we have already discussed few non-thermal methods in our last class, and rest methods will be discussed in today's class. So something in mentioned in this first slide, that intelligent solutions need to be developed for sustainable food and agricultural consumption pattern with global food security. You all know that there is a dramatic development in the food science and technology. Every day you can see a newer kind of food formulation in your nearby market. And automatically, the methods used for preserving those food formulation are different as per the nature, quality, and type of those food items. So an environment-friendly intervention strategy or methods required to develop for global food security is very important, which is suitable to protect food products from decay or pest, and ultimately resulted in reducing losses and extending shelf life of the product. So keeping these things in your mind, you have to select a particular type of preservation method. Sometimes you are combining one method with another method for improving the effectiveness of preservation. And it all depends upon the nature and type of your food item and how long you want to keep this product in a safe condition. So in the last class, we have already discussed about ohmic heating, microwave heating, pulsed light technology, pulsed electric field, infrared heating. We were discussing about high pressure processing technology, but due to some neck problem, it was not completed. So again, I will repeat this. And thereafter, ultrasonics, oscillating magnetic field process, then radio frequency heating, and irradiation, which is uh, most popular among all these methods. So first of all, high pressure processing technology. As you know that it is also known as high hydrostatic pressure or ultra high pressure processing. And what is happening in this particular high pressure processing method? It uses up to 900 megapascal to kill many of the microorganisms generally found in your food, even at even at your normal room temperature, without degrading vitamins, flavors, colors, molecules in the process. So you can use this technology at room temperature condition. And the food packages are loaded onto a vessel and the top is closed. There is a vessel in which you have to load your packed food inside the chamber. The pressure medium, usually water, is pumped into the vessel from the bottom. Now, once the desired pressure is reached, the pumping is stopped, valves are closed, and pressure can be maintained without further need of energy input. It means at the time of a start, you have to create pressure from the surrounding or inside that vessel where you have kept your food item. And you have to, after achieving a certain pressure level, you have to stop adding more pressure or giving more pressure to the system. And you have to maintain your whole system at that pressure level. So a principle underlying high pressure processing is that the high pressure is applied in an isostatic manner such that all regions of food experience a uniform pressure, unlike heat processing. What is happening in case of heat processing? Whatever material or whatever surface of that particular food item is there, that will be heated first, and thereafter the heat reaches to the internal part of that food. But in this case, each and every particle will get the same effect. So high pressure processing is a cold pasteurization technique by which products already sealed in its final package are introduced into a vessel and subjected to a high level of isostatic pressure, that is in between 300 to 600 megapascal, and it is transmitted by water. Here in this picture, you can say there is uniform pressure is there inside the vessel, and this is your product. So if you want a long-term preservation, you want freshness in your product, or if you have developed a newer kind of food formulation and want a very good hygienic condition maintained throughout their production and after the manufacturing process, if you want a very good hygienic quality of product, automatically you have to think or you have to select this particular processing treatment. Now you can use this treatment in fruits, and in case of fruits and vegetables. You can also use it for processed meat products, fishes, seafoods, then minimally processed foods and infant foods. So this high pressure technology you can use in these products. Now, what are the special features of high pressure processing technology? It is applicable in high pressure application is of high pressure is used in this method, and because of that there will be inactivation of parasites, plant cells, and vegetative microorganisms. Some fungal spores, if present in the system, that will also be affected. Many food-borne viruses will be affected. Then enzymes are selectively inactivated. Few enzymes you can inactivate, and first you have idea about a particular food item, that that this particular food item is having this particular type of enzyme, then only you can select this particular process. Then macromolecules can change conformation. Small molecules are generally unaffected, and high pressure is instantaneously and uniformly applied to the sample. So these are the features of high pressure technology. Here in this figure, you can see the condition of a microorganism. When you are applying low pressure, what is the condition? And when you are applying high pressure, so what is happening in this? This high pressure can kill microorganisms by interrupting their cellular function without the use of heat that can damage the taste, texture, and nutrition of that particular food. So here in this picture or in this slide, you can see that how untreated packed product, which is in liquid condition or solid condition, they will place in a vessel, high pressure vessel, and there is cooling and heating system is there in that, and high pressure pump is there connected with the water tank, and after getting proper treatment, the product will come out, and this is the treated product after getting proper high pressure processing treatment. Here in this figure, you see that hermetically sealed packages are loaded into high pressure processing carrier baskets. It's your product and it is loaded in basket. Baskets are inserted into the high pressure processing vessels. The vessels enters the system and is sealed by plugs, and thereafter what is happening in that, potable water is pumped into the vessel, creating isostatic pressure, equal pressure from all the sides on the food package, and product is held at a pressure of 45,000 to 87,000 psi, or in other uh, pressure unit 310 to 600 megapascal for 1 to 6 minutes, depending upon the high pressure processing process recipe, what type of product you are selecting, and what level you have to treat, what is the initial contamination level, and how long you have to preserve, and what is the um, uh, nature of that particular food item. Depending upon the that you have to select a particular pressure and time for processing. The pressure is transmitted uniformly and instantaneously throughout the product to disrupt microbial biochemistry of bacteria and spoil its organisms. And ultimately, the packed product will come out from the processing vessel. So just by doing this, you can get a product, and whatever the natural things are there inside that food item, that will remain present in your product after getting this type of treatment. So the primary site for pressure-induced microbial inactivation is cell membrane, where the problem created by this particular method. High pressure causes changes in cell morphology and biochemical reactions, protein denaturation, and inhibition of genetic mechanisms. So you can well imagine the condition just by giving pressure, the cell membrane of the microorganisms will be affected, and automatically the host system will be disturbed. And here in this table, the pressure required to achieve a 5-log cycle inactivation for different type of microorganisms in 15 minutes time is given in this table. So for Yersinia enterocolitica, it is 275 megapascal, Salmonella typhimurium 350, Listeria monocytogenes 375 megapascal, Salmonella enteritis 450, Escherichia coli 680, Staphylococcus 700 megapascal. So the pressure requirement for different microorganisms is different, and you have to select a particular pressure depending upon the condition your food items have received during harvesting or collection or procurement or transportation or handling at your factory premises. Now, what is the effect of high pressure processing treatment on microorganisms? In this, we are applying 400 to 600 megapascal pressure used for 2 minutes or greater. Then high pressure applied to food at room temperature will reduce number of most vegetative bacteria up to 4 log units reduction you will get in this, or even sometimes you will get a greater effect. And it also inactivates certain enzymes which only a small changes in organoleptic properties of that particular food item. And resistance of bacteria and other microorganisms to this processing technology is highly variable. What is there special in this? Some gram-positive bacteria, such as Listeria monocytogenes, can exhibit higher resistance than the gram-negative bacteria, such as Salmonella. So, Listeria monocytogenes, you have to apply higher pressure for longer period compared to Salmonella group. A spore of both bacteria and mold are largely resistant to inactivation by high pressure processing technology. Viruses have a wide range of pressure resistance depending on their structural diversity, The effectiveness of high pressure processing treatment will be dependent upon the pressure applied, the holding time, and the temperature of that food item, the type of food matrix, and target organisms. So these are the factors which are responsible for effectiveness of high pressure processing treatment you are selecting for a particular type of food item. Now, the next method is ultrasound method. The definition of ultrasound, ultrasonic, is a sound waves that have a higher frequency than the human ear can hear. So an example of ultrasonic is an ultrasound image of an unborn baby. Generally, you must have visited some of the ultrasound center and you must might have seen a machine which is used for getting idea about the unborn babies or some other sort of problems inside your body. So ultrasound is a mechanical wave at a frequency exceeding the human hearing frequency, which is about 20 kilohertz. And it can be divided into three types. Power ultrasound, in which you are using hair level, 16 to 100 kilohertz. High frequency ultrasound, that is 0.1 to 1 megahertz. And diagnostic ultrasound, that is very high, that is 1 to 10 megahertz. The sound waves resulting from the motion of continuous longitudinal waves when sound travels through a medium can generate the alternate compression and rarefaction of the particles in the medium and consequent collapse of the bubble causing cavitation. So just by creating this much sound wave, you can inactivate the microbe present in the system. The cavitation produced by ultrasound can cause a rapid rise in temperature. Whatever cavitation formed inside that food item, that will create a very high temperature and increase the pressure up to 50 megapascal and therefore used to accelerate mass transfer, breakdown, and dislodge particles, destroy the cell membrane, or even change the structure of the compound. So just by when you are applying this type of sound wave inside your chamber, what will happen? A very high pressure will be created and high temperature will produce inside that, and ultimately it will affect the cell membrane or even change the structure of the compound. The different ultrasound system frequency and energy density can be utilized for different range of food application. So what are those food application? Freezing, defoaming, filtration, and emulsification, drying, crystallization of fat, sugar, food preservation, inactivation of microorganisms and enzymes, and extraction of active ingredients from the food stuffs. So you can utilize this technique for all these purposes. So what is happening? How it is affecting the microbial growth? Ultrasound is a cyclic sound pressure wave, and its frequency is greater than the upper limit of human hearing. Beyond this frequency, we talk about ultrasound range. It means whatever frequency range used in this method, it is greater than the upper limit of human hearing. And what are the other special things? Ultrasound waves are similar to sound waves, but having a frequency above 16 kilohertz cannot be detected by the human ear. Ultrasound also refers to sound waves, mechanical vibration, which propagate through solids, liquids, and gases with a frequency greater than the upper limit of the human hearing. And use of ultrasound in food processing are used for all these purposes. I have already told you before, and the principal aim of this technology is to reduce the processing time, save energy, and improve the shelf life and quality of the food product. So these are the special features of using this ultra sound technology in food processing sector. Now, the microorganisms, how microorganisms will be inactivated by this particular method. Cavitation process is mainly responsible. It changes the pressure and temperature, cause breakdown of cell wall, disrupting and thinning of cell membrane, and DNA will be damaged, and thus causing death of the microorganism. Now, the different kind of microorganisms have different membrane structure. It is very important to have idea about the characteristic of cell membrane. What is special in this? Gram-positive bacteria have a thicker cell wall, and gram-negative bacteria have a thinner cell wall. So the rupture between the membrane and the cell wall, which is possible by utilizing this ultrasonic treatment, the cell wall results in leakage of nutrients into the cell and resulted in the death of microorganisms. Now, what are the factors affecting the microbial inactivation? Amplitude of ultrasound waves, exposure or contact time, volume of food processed, and treatment temperature. So all these are responsible for the effectiveness of this particular treatment to your food item. Now the endospores of Bacillus and Clostridium species are very resistant to extreme conditions. Monosonication treatment at 500 kilopascal for 12 minutes inactivated over 99% of the spore. So wherever you have idea that some number, a very high number of spore is there in the system, automatically you can use this method for preservation. So pore initiation is there, hydrogen influx and swelling of the bacterial cell you can see here, and thereafter membrane rupturing, and ultimately the cell will be inactivated. Cell lysis will occur in the system. Now the next one is oscillating magnetic field. What is there? We have already studied about the different type of heat waves created in the system, how ionic nature of food item are preserved by using different type of technique. So oscillating magnetic field has a potential to inactivate microorganisms, and it improves the quality of and shelf life compared to other conventional method which people are using for preservation purposes. Now, magnetic field are generally created by supplying a current to electric coils, and the required magnetic flux density is 5 to 50 tesla. This you have to remember that which range is suitable for giving preservation treatment or magnetic treatment to your food item. And it is must for inactivation of any kind of microorganism. The technological advantage of inactivating microorganisms with this particular oscillating magnetic field method include minimum thermal denaturation of nutritional and organoleptic properties. So you can see the condition that if you really want to maintain your nutritional attributes, or if you want to maintain the organoleptic properties of your food item, you can go or you can select this particular method. So reduced energy level is required for adequate processing. The potential treatment of food inside the flexible film package. This can be done to avoid post-processing contamination. If you have already packed your food item and you have placed inside the magnetic field and you are applying this particular method, so automatically you will get a better product. So there is some inhibitory effect. In some time you will get a stimulatory effect, and sometime non-observable effect you will observe in the product. So accordingly, you have to select this particular temperature. Inactivation, how inactivation takes place in these products when you are applying this particular method. Inactivation of microorganisms was observed in a number of research papers with oscillating magnetic field, especially in milk, yogurt, orange juices, bread roll, and one pulse of oscillating magnetic field was found adequate to reduce the bacterial population between 10 to the power 2 to 10 to the power 6 colony forming unit per gram. Now, what are the mode of action? Loosening bond between the ions and proteins. Whatever ions present in that bacterial cell, that will be loosened out. then damage to calcium and magnesium ion, thereafter breakdown of covalent bond in DNA, and whatever magnetic field created in the system that will stimulate or inhibit growth and reproduction of microorganisms, and highly intensity magnetic field affects membrane fluidity through which some type of nutrients are going inside from outside. So just because of these things, you can inactivate different kind of microorganisms. Now the next one is radio frequency. It is also a very good method, generally applied in our food industry. In this, heating is done, and it is an advanced and emerging technology for food application. With the increasing demand of safe, hygienic, tastier, no fat and preserving free food in the world market, this radio frequency heating technology has gained an advantage in recent times. I have already told you that uh, people have started producing different type of food items. They have started combining different type of food components extracted from different sources. And for giving or for prolonging the shelf life of that kind of formulation, you are in need of these kind of technology. So just because of this, people have started using this type of technology. In this method, electromagnetic energy transfers directly into the product, resulted to induce volumetric heating due to the frictional interaction between molecules. Heating of food is placed between two capacitor plates. These are the two capacitor plates, and which play the role of dielectric, where a high frequency alternating electric field is applied. And what is happening inside this particular chamber? Such field created by these alternating electric current, this will force polar molecules, that is water, to constantly realign themselves with the electric field. Because of this, the molecular movement is very fast, and due to high frequency in the field, it will generate heat within the food by energy dissipation, and it will cause by the molecular friction and inhibit, and ultimately the microorganisms will be inhibited. Now the radio frequency heating method photographs are given, and how it is different from the conventional method is given here. Now the last one, which is most acceptable and widely used in food industry. So food irradiation method. So food irradiation, application of ionizing radiation to food, is a technology that improves the safety and extends the shelf life of food by reducing or eliminating microorganisms. Like pasteurization of milk and canning fruit and vegetables, irradiation can make different food safer for the consumer. And you can use this method for a sprout inhibition, insect disinfection, shelf life extension, pathogen reduction. So there is, just by using one method, you can get the multiple effect of effect in your final product. So what is happening in food radiation? Process by which food is exposed to the controlled source of ionizing radiation to prolong shelf life, improve microbiological safety, and reduce the use of chemical fumigants and additives. So wherever these kind of chemicals are required for preserving your cereals or different kind of food item, automatically the amount will be reduced if you are using or combining those chemical methods with this food irradiation method. So what is happening in this? What is the principle behind of irradiation process? When ionization radiation passes through a food product, some energy is absorbed by some chemical bonds. Some bonds rupture and produce free radicals, which are highly reactive and unstable. They instantaneously rejoin with neighboring compound, and the results are called radiolysis compound. So these are similar to the compound produced by heating, thermolytic compound. So generally, it is happened when you are applying some kind of irradiation treatment to your food item. The uniqueness of irradiation is that the DNA of microorganism or insect, if present in the system, uh, is very sensitive, and that will be first affected by this irradiation technique. And irradiation of DNA at the approval level cause base damage, breaking to DNA strands and cross-linking. So automatically the whole system will be disturbed and it will inactivate the microorganism present. All of these results in the loss of organism ability to reproduce. So just by applying these methods, you can get a good effect, preservation effect on your final product. Now something about the mode of action, how it is affecting the different microorganisms. So for choosing or for selecting any type of preservation system, we must keep this thing in our mind, that what is the actual problem created, or what type of condition is created by that particular method. So radiation can cause both ionization and excitation, and their absorption is not affected by structure of the molecule. Viruses, spores, they are resistant to radiation, and the gram-negative Aspergillus bacteria which are present in the system as a contaminant, that are more susceptible than pathogenic bacteria. Clostridium botulinum type E is resistant. So increase in mycotoxins was observed after irradiation. So if you know, or if you have idea about presence of this particular type of microbe in your food item, automatically you should not go for this preservation technique. Now,